Welcome to the White Glove demo for Catan Explorers and Pirates, a brand new expansion for the Settlers of Catan. If you're unfamiliar with the Settlers of Catan, you'll want to watch the White Glove demo for the base game first before watching this one. Explorers and Pirates has you sending your intrepid Catanians to uncover 2 new mysterious islands in 5 exciting scenarios. You'll complete vital exploratory missions for the good of Catan and drive the insidious pirates out of their hidden lairs. Of course, you can always engage in a little piracy of your own. You'll need these game components from the Settlers of Catan as listed in the rulebook. You won't need the rest of these components, including cities, development cards, or the robber. Explorers and Pirates contains 5 scenarios of increasing complexity, all leading up to an epic finale. Yeah, we'd better start with the simplest scenario first, Glover. The Land Ho scenario gives players a taste of exploring the mysterious green and orange islands. You'll need to set up the board as shown on page 1 and 2 of the rulebook. The starting island to the left is made up of hexes and number tokens from the base game. Each player starts with a settlement, a road, a harbor settlement, and a ship. You also start with a settler on board your ship, making it a settler ship. Make sure to take 1 resource card for each terrain hex next to your regular settlement, as well as 2 gold. On the right side of the map are the 2 unexplored areas. These areas are made up from the new terrain tiles, which should be shuffled and placed face down. For right now, we'll only use the basic terrain and water hexes. Leave the gold, spice, and fish hexes in the box. Now we're ready to begin, starting with the youngest player. Like basic Catan, you start your turn by rolling for production. Settlements and harbor settlements both produce 1 resource each. However, if you don't get a resource from the roll, you instead get 1 gold. If you roll a 7, there's no robber to move, but you still get no resources or gold, and you must discard half your cards if you have more than 7 cards. After production, you may trade and build as normal. Settlements and roads work the same as in regular Catan. You'll notice, however, that there are no harbor spaces on the coastlines. Instead, you may always trade 3 for 1 with the supply, getting either a resource or a gold. You may also buy a resource for 2 gold twice per turn. For 2 ore and 2 wheat, you can upgrade a settlement next to the frame or a sea hex into a harbor settlement. Like cities, harbor settlements are worth 2 victory points. For 1 wool and 1 wood, you may build an empty ship on a sea route next to a harbor settlement. A sea route is any hex side touching either a sea hex or the frame. For the same cost as a settlement, you may instead place a settler in either a harbor settlement or onto an empty ship adjacent to a harbor settlement. A settler is a large cargo, meaning it takes up an entire harbor or an entire ship by itself. You can't fit 2 settlers in one place. After trading and building, you may move your ships. Each of your ships may move along up to 4 sea routes each turn. Once per ship per turn, you may spend a wool resource to move your ship along 2 extra routes. At any point during a ship's move, you may load and unload cargo at one of your adjacent harbor settlements. This action is free and doesn't stop or inhibit the ship's movement. If at any point during a ship's move, it points towards the corner of an unexplored hex, you must immediately stop and discover that hex. If you discover a terrain hex, you gain 1 matching resource card and draw a random number token with a matching back to place on the hex. If you discover a sea hex, you receive 2 gold. Either way, the exploring ship cannot move anymore this turn. If a settler ship ends its movement pointing towards the corner of a land hex, you may remove the entire settler ship to build a settlement. After all of your ships have moved, pass the turn to the next player. In future turns, you may build roads from these new settlements as normal, but you may not build roads leading to undiscovered hexes. Only ships can explore the distant lands. The first player to 8 victory points wins. And that's how you play Land Ho, the introductory scenario for Catan Explorers and Pirates. But wait a minute, there's just so much more to this game we haven't covered yet. Missions and natives and crewmen, and we haven't even gotten to the pirates yet. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll teach you all of the advanced scenarios. So, Glover, are you ready for the big leagues now? I think you've still got a few things to learn, Glover.